If you're an entrepreneur or even thinking about becoming an entrepreneur and you thought about the biggest luxuries or to connect with other people around the world, you've probably thought about Dubai or Bali. But what if I told you there's someplace better? Just made myself a copy, but I want to expand on the aspect of how every entrepreneur you probably already know either lives in Dubai, goes to Dubai, or goes to Bali and live in Bali either too, right? But my opinion of that is that when you think of entrepreneurs now that live in Dubai or Bali, I think Dubai and Bali are amazing places, but they're still third world countries, right? There's a big difference from rich and poor, and every place, every country has that. But in Dubai, you can tell the difference. Right? You have beautiful skyscrapers, you have beautiful things, but on the other side, it's still underdeveloped. People are still fighting for scraps. Same thing with Bali, right? Japan is different. Yes, I know it's very traditional and they don't go up to date with what Dubai and Bali is doing. But the thing is, Japan is not trying to compete with them. They're trying to stay traditional, but also at the same time, their technology is always developing. The efficiency, right? The systems. And Japan taught me what it really meant of what systems can do for your country. I want you to think about this, right? When you think of Japan, right? I consider Japan like LeBron James. Let's talk basketball terms, right? LeBron James is Japan, right? They've been in this game for a long time. They've been here for centuries, and they flourished, right? I know that they had a big collapse, with the economy and the bubble and everything. But still, LeBron had his peaks, but he is my GOAT. And to me, I see Japan as the LeBron, right? And then some people might see the United States as Michael Jordan, but still, going back to this basketball analogy, right? LeBron, regardless of his age, he's breaking down his body. He's been in the NBA for over 23 years, right? Japan has been here through the hardest times. They've been through recessions, they've been through hard times, but they're still here. People are still coming here and doing stuff, right? And the one thing that I respect about Japan is that they don't go with the trend because they understand that trends die. But places like Dubai, places like Bali, they're always going with the trend. So you're always having to keep up with the trend. So that means you have to change the infrastructure. You have to always keep up with the marketing, and it becomes very unsustainable. And it's the same thing when it comes to NBA players. There's young upcoming rookies, right? They have great seasons. But the thing is, with professional sports like the NBA, it's not about how skilled you are. Because the biggest important skill, I would say it is about how skilled you are, but the most important skill is injury prevention. And who's the best at that? LeBron James. Because he's been in this game for over 20 plus years. The hardest thing in sports is to be in this game for a long time. As a business owner, specifically in the online, but even, the marketing and the creative space, right? I believe that Japan is a gold mine for that. And I believe that there's something special here, right? Because yes, Japan isn't a trend. It's always stable. People always understand the beauty of Japan, but you can bring trends all over the world here, and flourish with them. And that's kind of what I'm doing, is taking Western concepts and Western ideas, and I wouldn't say trends, but something that has provenly worked in the West, and I'm bringing here to Japan. And it's clearly over the last 5 years, it's been flourishing and it's been working well. And that's part of the reason why you always hear me talk about why I love Japan so much as a business opportunity compared to Dubai and Bali. Dubai and Bali, don't get me wrong, they're great places. I love them, I see myself being there as well too. Like I said, it's very hard to keep up with the trend. Their country is based off of what's the next trend, right? I think Dubai just built a new casino that's gonna open in 2027, right? Gambling is going crazy all over the West. Enough of me talking, I'm gonna dive deeper more into the vlog about exactly why, and I'll show you exact examples of it as well too. So we're here at Warriors Gym. This is a new gym that just opened up on the 1st of March. The reason why this gym is so significant on the reason why I feel like Japan could be the next Dubai or Bali is simply because when you look at this gym, you think of, to me, my first thought was Obsidian, the new gym that was built in Bali, right? It attracts a lot of entrepreneurs to come because essentially if you want to be an entrepreneur, a lot of the things that are such a huge pillar and focus is fitness now. And that's why you see a lot of these wellness brands just exploding out of just nowhere, right? Thin air. And I feel like by having this gym, it'll attract the right entrepreneurs. One, specifically Japanese entrepreneurs now come here, right? Fitness, bodybuilders, athletes and everything, because it tailors to them. And now this gives me an opportunity to be able to network with people as well. Dubai and Bali, what they did really well was that they created a an environment where entrepreneurs can come and network with each other. Because at the end of the day, you always hear this, it sounds corny, but your net worth is your net worth, right? Gyms like this give entrepreneurs a place, a common area where you can focus on fitness and be able to network. So I think that's the reason why it's super important to be able to have a gym like this and be able to do this. And this gym is called Warriors Gym. You know, like I said, it's brand new in Roppongi, which is also known to be more of a wealthy area as well. Yeah, so today is just zone 2 training. Basically means that I have a heart rate monitor. I have to keep my heart rate lower. I don't want to spike it up. And then we're gonna focus on like a Hyrox simulation where just basically all like the movements that we're doing, but at a very low intensity. So as you see, my heart rate is a little bit too high, so I have to lower the intensity. If my heart rate's too high, it takes away the whole zone 2 concept. It's called the gray area, the gray zone. I don't want to be in it, so I have to kind of rest a little bit more and just take the intensity lighter. It's hard because as athletes, you just want to push, but zone 2 is so crucial that we monitor my heart rate. That's why I invested into this, you know, and then have it connected. So I want to stay in the 130 to 145 beats per minute right now, you know, so right now it's good. So yeah, we just finished our zone 2. I usually don't come to the gym to do zone 2, but you know, we decided to do something fun. Like I was just talking about how running teaches you how to embrace the boring. Sometimes too much boring is too boring, right? So that's why we had to come here and do a zone 2 here at the gym. And we basically just did it for about an hour and 5 minutes of just movement, you know, like an Hyrox simulation at like almost 40 to 50% effort. The cool thing is, you know, how I was like saying how Japan could be the next Dubai or Bali. While we're in the gym, there was somebody, you know, who was in shape and everything, had good vibes, come up to my girlfriend and say that like they seen our content, but also at the same time, what a coincidence, right? They also, you know, kind of fluctuate from Dubai and here as well too. So it kind of just shows you like those types of people are attracted to these types of gyms, right? By having this gym open here on the first, like it's gonna attract higher level people from Dubai, Bali, or even other these places, right? And I've always said that Japan is this gold mine where footage, right? If you're filming content, it's one of the best places to film content, right? The business side isn't developed yet, right? Just because it's very traditional, but it takes people like me and other people who talk more openly about money to be able to change this environment of Japan. So that's why I'm very passionate. I might have this huge belief that Japan is the next Dubai or Bali. Maybe someone else disagrees. But you have to actually come here and actually live it and actually do something to really fully realize it. You know, I've been here for over 6 years, and that's the reason why like I'm so passionate about it, and I'm even more bullish about it since this gym has opened, right? So it's little things like this. It's an accumulation of all these little things that makes me feel like this is the next spot to be, you know? Food is amazing, people are amazing. It just needs to be more open about money, and that's what I'm trying to do, is speak more openly about it. When it comes to like choosing a place, right, you have to think of a place as a whole, right? Not just about how great gyms are, how great the food is, and how great the weather and everything is, right? You have to think about the infrastructure, right? When you still think of Dubai and Bali, you still think third world country, right? They're developing fast, but even when you go to Bali, like you're biking around and you get hurt, they don't have top level hospitals. Like even in Dubai too, like I wouldn't even be very comfortable in going to a hospital. I might be wrong. I know there's people that say healthcare is great, but then you compare it to like a place like Japan. Like as a foreigner, if you don't even have insurance and you step into this like a hospital here, the fee is so much lower compared to like a place like Dubai or Bali. Like, you know, they don't have MRIs and all of that in Bali, right? You can't just get an MRI right away if you tore your ACL, you know? But like in Japan, you can actually get an MRI and it's significantly cheaper even than the USA without insurance. So obviously Bali doesn't have the train infrastructure like, you know, Japan. And I know Dubai's do have trains, but it's nothing like Japan, right? You can go from tip to tip of the country in a day, you know, and you can explore all of Japan, right, through the train systems. And these trains are right on time. Even if they're a second late, they apologize, you know? Even the bus systems, everything of it is so efficient that you know that like if you get hurt, something happens, you can always feel comfortable and like assured that like I'll be taken care of. I want to talk about currency arbitrage and what it actually means. Basically what it means in my terms and my definitions, let's say you make money in the United States, right? And then you live here in Japan. That United States dollar is so much stronger than the yen that your dollar goes a long way, and that's why you're seeing a Someone
Currency arbitrage.
Someone just paid. That's currency arbitrage right there. What I was saying is that if you make money in the United States and then you're living here in Japan, that dollar goes a long way. And that's why you're starting to see a lot of tourists come here because their dollar is taking them a long way. Japan's prices haven't changed much. So you can still get a beautiful, high quality rice bowl with beef for less than $5. You can get sushi for less than $1, you know what I mean? And the quality is so high, yet the price is so low because of the strength of the dollar, the euro, or wherever you're making money. And that's why I'm saying you don't have to sell to Japanese people. You can make money in whatever country you're at, but live here and use Japan as this like landscape, this like aura dream, right? And be able to attract people, customers more to your Western business too. So I'm not saying just do business here, but the thing is you can keep your business in the West, but still, live here and then use that currency arbitrage and be able to do that. But to explain this currency arbitrage term, I'm gonna head to a place right now and I'll actually show you in person exactly what I mean.
What's up? Let's slide. All right.
We gonna get you.
We're here at Mr. Brothers. It's probably one of the most famous barbershop in, honestly, maybe Asia. They have one in LA, Singapore. They have like a university school in Africa as well too. So they're very popular and famous for that, Going back to the currency arbitrage thing, right? Like in the States now, a good quality cut with like all the things that they do, shampoo and everything, costs over like $60. But with here, literally for 5,000 yen, which is around $30, I think at the highest quality end. And the thing is, I have Asian hair, so I need an Asian barber that can cut my hair. And they can do it so efficiently. People in the States just can't. They're used to African American hair, white people hair, Hispanic hair, right? So they're not really used to Asian people's hair. So for me, being able to have someone that can know my head shape, it's so much easier. And then the quality is just way above.
So you're probably now imagining like how you can probably make profit here or how you can monetize living in Japan as a foreigner, right? So I want to explain something, and I'm going to do this in the most respectful way, right? And this is part of the reason why I love Japan so much. I respect the working culture, not in the sense of like how the big corporations like make their employees work, but more so of Japanese people have humility, they have respect, they have loyalty, and they work their asses off. They work hard. And the thing is, the reason why you might not see someone really actually succeed is because the leader or the person that is telling them what to do is not really guiding them in the right direction. Japanese people have all the skill sets, they have the discipline, they have the consistency. They don't know what to do, but they have all the skill sets to be able to do something if they're actually facing the right direction. And this is the reason why I feel like you guys can actually flourish, is that a lot of these workers, right? I don't like to call it workers. I always like to say team members, but in this case, so you guys understand, workers, right? These people, if you direct them, if you give them information and you show them the right direction to go as a leader, you can literally direct them and they can actually produce results at a faster pace than any place that I've ever been. I've had employees in Europe, I've had employees in Dubai, Bali, the United States, Hawaii, everywhere. But there has never been a better place where I had team members here that actually produced results at a faster pace than Japan. This is part of the reason why. There's another thing that I want to talk about is that information here is being sold. But in the West, information is free, right? Japanese people, the reason why I understand that like the online or just the whole, I don't like to even call it the info space, even like brick and mortar marketing, sports agency, they're still in this old traditional phase of like they sell information rather than implementation, right? To me, I believe that the good thing that the West is doing that makes it very hard to compete there now is that people are choosing who their mentor or choosing what business to do based off of who can implement the best. But in Japan, if you can come in here and give out all the information for free, people trust you, right? And trust is the hardest thing to do in Japan. That's the one thing that makes Japan hard to do business in, is trust, because it takes time, especially if you're not Japanese, right? But let's just say you're a foreigner who comes in and you just give out free information every single day to people, and they can take that information and implement it and actually get results, then they come back to you. And the thing is, I've always said that Japanese customers have the highest LTV, right? Lifetime value of a customer. It's the highest and it's the best. So you can always be upselling, giving them more things, right? They'll always stay loyal to you, right? And that's, it comes down to what a Japanese person is. They have humility, they have loyalty, they have discipline, they have consistency. So for me, when I talk about those kind of things, is that I've given out all my information for free, everything that I've learned, right? And then I share it through my experience. And by combining the information that I've learned from great mentors and great businesses, and then combine that with my experience, it creates conviction. And when you have conviction, people really trust you, right? And I always mentioned it before, but it also comes down to the Google aspect, right? 7-11-4. 7 hours of content at 11 different touch points in 4 different places. I really mastered that. That's why I have run clubs. That's why I have all these different platforms. I have multiple Instagram pages. I do multiple communities. I try to partner with multiple brands and everything like that. And you might think, oh yeah, well, it's because you establish it. Yeah, it takes time. It's not like a get rich thing, right? And this is the reason why. It's like, you want to build long-term wealth and you want to build something that's very like sustainable. Like Dubai and Bali will give you maybe 1 to 2 years. You might get rich quick. But the thing is, what happens when year 3, year 4 comes, you know, and nothing is working? Then all that money you made meant nothing, right? And that's why there's a lot of young millionaires in Bali and Dubai. But I've always told the young people here in Japan is that all the money you make up to 25, just think of it as that you're gonna lose it, right? I really do believe that. Like, the money that you make until 25 years old, you're not gonna keep after 25. Because after 25 especially, you start developing, like you become a man. And that's when you have real responsibilities. That's when you start realizing like all the flexing and all that thing just doesn't work anymore, right? It's not sustainable. You have to buy a new car every single time to be able to make your YouTube pop and stuff like that. Rather than that, is like, if you can come here to Japan and just give so much free value and information, people will pay you for the implementation. And I believe that everyone should pay for the implementation, whether it's creative direction, whether it's, you know, marketing, whether it's content, whether it's online, you know, businesses, coaching, mentorship, whatever it is. People should pay for the implementation. And that's part of the reason why, and I hope that makes sense. But I also want you guys to just see why Japan is a great place to do business as a foreigner now too, is just the gyms, right? They're tailoring to foreigner people. So you might think, okay, how am I gonna get past the language barrier? There's no problem. There's millions of people who can speak English at a high level. For me, yes, I can speak a little bit Japanese, but I have so many people on my team that can speak both English and Japanese, and they make my job so much easier. Because at the end of the day, Japanese people are looking for something new. They don't want to just hear another Japanese person just speak Japanese about business and stuff. They're like, you haven't done anything. So that's why they want to hear someone that's been successful in the United States or Europe or wherever it is, and they're like, oh wow, I respect them. Essentially, like, if you come from the West, right? Japanese people see Western people and you automatically have authority, right? And authority is very hard to get because it just takes time. Being from a Western country or being a foreigner and you look foreign, right? People automatically assume, oh, professional basketball player, professional player, or successful businessman. So you already have a leg up against all the Japanese people. When you're in Japan and you're Japanese, you have to kind of put in the dirty work. They're like, okay, he's Japanese, but like, what's special about him? But if you're a foreigner, let's just say you dress in a suit and stuff, you start talking business term, wow, this person is very smart. I want to listen to him. I'll pay anything, right? All the businesses that actually flourish here in Japan now are like, I took this Western concept and it changed my life, and a Japanese person is now monetizing off of that, right? So there's a lot of things in the West that you can bring, and there's so many successful entrepreneurs from there that can just come, bring it to Japan, have a translator, and be able to flourish, right? And that's why I'm just a big believer. Not everyone can do it. It is hard. There is a beautiful road. You know, it's not just a temporary road. You actually have this beautiful curve that goes up, 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 and there's big potential with that compared to like a Dubai and Bali where it's just a spike and you can go right back down, right? So that's why it's like, I'm more about sustainable growth rather than a quick growth, right? Get rich kind of aspect. And that comes to an end to the YouTube video. You know, I appreciate you guys staying to the end and watching this. You know, to recap what we talked about in the vlog, right? The reason why I believe Japan is the next area or the next place to be able to be successful in business and just life in general is because, one, it has good infrastructure, right? The trains, the healthcare system, and everything. Another thing that I really do love about it is that, one, it's a first world country at the end of the day. You know, we're very fortunate to be able to have the safety, the people, and everything, and the infrastructure infrastructure surrounding it to make it a very powerful country. No matter how the big macroeconomics of how the country is doing, it's still a first world country. We're very fortunate to be able to live here, right? The next thing that I did talk about was the new gyms, right? How Japan is actually focusing more on the health and wellness space, right? More run clubs are being made. You know, these bigger brands are focusing more on this community and wellness aspect. Lululemon, Nike, On, all these companies, right? Asics, Adidas, they're trying to get into that space. And it gives me an idea, if the big guys are doing it, that means it must be working, or there must be an opportunity here, right? And then I also talked about the currency arbitrage aspect and how, you know, if you're a business, you know, is focused to marketing Western people, you still could live in Japan and use the aesthetics of Japan, right? Like, for example, living in this type of apartment in New York City would cost 10 times more, but here it's much cheaper. But you get a view of Mount Fuji, you get the amazing aura of what Tokyo is. The food is still cheap, you know, especially if you're making USD, you know? So that's one thing that I love, right? Like, every place is gonna have their flaws, but to me, the pros just outweigh all the cons, you know, when I compare it to all these other places in the world. So that's the reason why I love Japan. And the last thing is, obviously, if you're trying to do an online aspect, online business, you know, education, there's a huge education gap. You know, Japan is a little behind, right? There are still people that are selling information. You know, in the West, information is dead because you can get it for free from AI and everything like that, or YouTube, right? People are paying for implementation. Right now, if you can teach implementation here in Japan and give away all the information out for free, you're already above everybody else, you know? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is give free information. But at the end of the day, not so many people can do a lot with information, you know? You have to learn the implementation, and that's where the consulting fees, that's where all the agency, the operations all come from, right? The implementation. You know, I didn't dive deeper into this, but in the other channel that I talked about in the last vlog, I'll dive more deeper into these topics so you guys can have a better understanding. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys for always supporting this channel, you know, watching it, sending the amazing messages you do on Instagram as well too. I read them and I'm truly inspired, you know, and I want to meet all you guys. And that's why, like, I have a run club, and hopefully if you guys do come to Tokyo, please join the run club. You know, I want to meet you in person and be able to shake your hand and be able to have the conversations in person. You know, I'm all about being able to have a face-to-face conversation with you all, you know. And for the people that, you know, might not really believe me or vibe with me, it's okay. At the end of the day, we're all entitled to our opinions, you know. I respect yours, you should respect mine. And there needs to be no hate at the end of the day, man. Like, let me do what I do, and I'll let you do what you do, you know. And at the end of the day, you don't have to support what I do, you know. And I think the best thing to do is, yeah, we don't need to spread hate. We don't need to spread negative comments, you know. Keep the energy good. Even if you're spreading negative hate or comments, it's only affecting you, you know? So if I would give you one word of encouragement, is, man, be positive and spread love. But other than that, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the next vlog.